It's Matchbox 20 and 3am. This is Weekdays with Lee Dixon and a new segment to Weekdays. It's called A Peek Inside, and it's where we check in with our resident real estate guru on the Northwest Coast. It's Craig Heppel from Ulverstone Real Estate. How are you there, mate? You well?
I'm well, Lee. How are you?
I can't complain. Thank you for taking the time out to give us a bit of an insight to the ins and outs of real estate here on the Northwest Coast. Really appreciate it.
No, my pleasure. I really love what I do and love to share with the people of the Northwest what's really going on.
Righto, we've had a little bit of concern with rate rises and whatnot this week and a couple of weeks ago and a few more weeks before that. What's the market doing right now on the coast there, Craig?
In one quick sentence, I can say it's value-driven, and the market's evolved relatively quickly. It's evolved really since June of last year. So I suppose in a nutshell, properties that are priced to sell, sell. But those that aren't, don't. It's that simple.
So what does that mean for somebody looking to sell their property right now?
Well, they've got to determine whether they want to be on the market or in the market. If you're on the market, it's likely that you're not putting forward a value proposition that's going to really excite buyers. So you might sit around because days on market, which is a very good measuring tool, days on market have spread out a little bit, and I'll give you some more on that in a minute. And also, we've got the fact that if you're in the market, that is, you're really looking to sell, to move on to whatever it may be, or another location. If you're in the market, you're going to attract more buyers and get them competing against each other.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of lingo associated with real estate, so hopefully over the next little while we'll be able to introduce and make familiar to people these particular terms that we see and use in the real estate world. So let's go back to days on market. You wanted to discuss that a little bit more?
Yeah, so I'll give you a couple of examples. Ulverstone and Devonport, days on market have stretched out. So let's go back to about May of 2022, and a significant date was the 3rd of May, which was the first interest rate rise that the Reserve Bank threw out there at 0.25. That was the day the market changed, because since that we've had 7, now 8, basically consecutive interest rate rises. So what that's done is that's put the brakes on certain segments of the buying market, you know, especially first home buyers in a way, and investors. So let's talk about Ulverstone first of all. Median prices. So for a 3-bed home, the median price in Ulverstone is $452, and it's being reported $452,000. It's being reported that days on market are around 30 days. Now that number, 30 days, that's the last quarter. Well, they're saying over the last 12 months. It really hasn't taken in the last, let's say, 6 to 8 weeks. Days on market, I'm going to say, will push out to about 50. Then on a 4-bed homes, saying around 50 days. Once again, that's going back a bit. That will probably stretch out to maybe 60 or so. Now in Devonport, median price, 3-bedder, $460,000, 45 days on market, and 4-bed homes, a median price of $459,000, talking about 32 days on market. But the properties that are selling quicker are those that have put themselves in the market. They are a really good value proposition for those buyers that are still out there.
Right, and so when you say that days on market sort of stretches out, is that because people are a little bit more cautious, or finance is perhaps taking longer? What's the actual cause for that?
2 things drive the market, Lee, and they're emotions. Do you have any idea what those emotions might be?
I've felt a couple over the years, but...
Yeah. Well, it isn't. You've got to understand, home sales and home purchasing is a very emotional undertaking. So and this is for all markets. This is stock market. This is everything. It's all based around fear and greed, or we might put in brackets confidence, right? For greed. So it's all about confidence. And when confidence wanes, the demand comes off a little bit.
Yep.
So we're seeing that buyers, yes, are more cautious. Yes, they will buy, but everything has to add up, because they generally, unless it's, go back to this again, unless your property is really priced to get buyers competing with each other, and if you're sort of an outlier and hoping to get a price that might have been around 9 or 12 months ago, you're probably only going to get dribs and drabs of buyers, and you'll get that one buyer that comes out, but they know they've got no competition. So therefore, they're going to be very, very picky, we'll call it, right down to, is there a little crack in the plaster or whatever it may be. They really can take their time and choose.
So all in all, is the market, even after these numerous rate rises, is it still healthy and thriving on the Northwest Coast, and is it the right time to either buy or sell?
It's still the right time. It's just that we've got to, vendors have to understand, vendors being sellers, they have to understand that the red-hot market that we saw over the last 2 or 3 years has cooled off, and they just have to understand they need to be competitive with their price. It doesn't mean they're going to take a great deal less or get hurt, because you've got to remember, the tide goes out everywhere. So if you're selling in Ulverstone and going to move to, I don't know, Launceston or something like that, you've got to remember, it's evened out there as well.
Yeah.
So it's a good market. Buyers are out there, but you really have to attract them with strong marketing and a pricing strategy that will attract them.
Well, that's great little insight into real estate on the coast as it is today. That's why we call it A Peek Inside with Craig Heppel. Thank you so much for your time, mate. We'll do it again next week.
Look forward to it, Lee.